Welcome back, everyone, to the Good Morning Wake Up Show. I want to say thank you again for listening in. Today I have two very special guests on the show. Desiree Kay. She is a newbie to the Bay of Banderas area compared to a lot of us. She's been down here for a couple of years. And Christina. Christina is from the city of Motorly Love, Detroit, Michigan. I want to say thank you, ladies, for coming to the Good Morning Wake Up Show.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Desiree is a lady that I met through Facebook, which I wasn't cruising for anything else. Everybody knows I'm married to the beautiful Dr. Soraya Sibia Del Soto, my lovely wife, PhD, 2 times over. But what interests me about her is, as you know, a lot of people know I've gone to Thailand several times. I've gone to Hawaii a bunch of times. And she's actually from Southern Cal, or Northern Cal. What part of Cal are you from?
Southern California, born in Corona.
Corona. That means the crown.
See?
We know a little bit more about Corona, but what we know about it here is a little bit something different.
Yeah, I like the beer too.
She knows where I'm going. This girl's on track. But she has a very interesting life, and by reading some of her Facebook information, she's lived an extremely interesting life. She's been down here. How long have you been down here?
I actually just hit my 1-year anniversary on October 7th.
Happy birthday to you. But as you all know, I like to interview interesting people. She has probably learned things down here in her first year that a lot of us haven't learned, or a lot of us have learned but 3 or 4 years ago and forgot. But let's talk a little bit about your history. You grew up in Southern Cal, and then you moved to Hawaii.
I did, yeah.
And
started
how many
off
years?
in Maui.
You went to college there.
Yes.
What
University of Hawaii at
What
Manoa.
a smart girl. Went to Hawaii and lived on the island of Oahu. Went to the university there.
Yeah, pre-veterinary medicine is what I studied
Pre-vet. And then you also went to Thailand. You worked at an elephant nature park.
Yeah, in Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's an elephant nature park that's focused on rescuing the elephants from the tourism rides in Thailand. So I actually went there as a veterinary student volunteer and volunteered for a few weeks and wrote about it on my blog. And now I'm trying to actually get other people from around the world to go to Thailand and other places to volunteer with projects like that and just be a little bit more informed on ecotourism.
What is the country? Is it Burma that is just north of Thailand where a lot of the elephants, it's like their national animal? Is Burma just north of Thailand?
Myanmar, I think, is one where the elephants are very popular.
Yes.
Also in Thailand, they're very worshipped. India, everywhere. I think the elephants are very important in Southeast Asian
they
culture.
are. You go,
yeah, very important.
It's just amazing if you go to Thailand. But it is, they really have some beautiful places where you can actually interact with the elephants, the nature parks and things like that. And you can ride on them if you want. I didn't really care. Well, I wanted to, but the elephant wouldn't let me on his back because I'm too big. But we went there a couple of years ago, and the kids really had a great time. And they're very, very smart animals.
Very intelligent, yes.
They say elephants don't ever forget anything.
No, they don't. And they live almost 80 years.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, they remember everything that they go through in their lives.
Well, we've talked a little bit about your history. You came to Puerto Vallarta a year ago, and you started a tourism business. Correct me if I
Yeah,
am
it's
wrong.
actually
Just,
something.
I'll let you do the talking. Tell us a little bit about what you do down here. Some of the things you've learned starting a business. You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So you've learned how not to cut corners, but to make. I'm trying to help her give some information out to let you other budding entrepreneurs or people who are down here, expats wanting to start a business. It might be real estate. It might be taking people scuba diving. It might be chocolate factory. Who knows? But she's probably learned some things and can help us not make the same mistakes, because we all make mistakes.
Yeah, well,
it's not cutting corners, but this is an educational program, Doesn't sound like it, especially the host. But I do have very, very smart and very, very special people here to help us kind of maneuver through the rules and regulations, and that's very important down here.
Yeah, well, I'll let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
I'm huge on cutting corners. If there's an easy way to do something, then I will do it the easy way.
Well,
and
that's smart. It's probably the smartest way.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that a lot of people believe in their brains before they move to a country abroad is that it's very, very difficult. And so to make it a little bit easier for them, I document everything that I do on my website.
And let's go ahead and stop. As everybody knows, on the Good Morning Wake Up Show, one of the first things I tell everybody, because I have so many interesting people on the show, I tell everybody, go get a pencil and paper or a marker or a Sharpie, or get your little computer deal out that you type into real fast and take down this information. So here's her website, phone number, contact information, Facebook account, WhatsApp. What else is there? Twitter.
So my website is mydestination.com, www.mydestination with a Z. You can also reach me via email.
DEZTINATION.
.com. Yes,
.com.
mydestination.com. And you can reach me via email as well, des@mydestination.com.
Is that DEZ?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, little play on words there with
That's
my
okay.
name.
And you came down here a year ago, and you probably goofed off for a while. Now, I don't know why anybody go from Hawaii to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, I've got a good reason.
Okay, what is it?
Prices.
There you go.
Yeah.
I knew, ding, 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 that's, money speaks louder than words.
Yes, it does. It
Money
actually
talks, and you know what walks.
The weather here is just about the same as Hawaii
We're the
anyway.
exact same latitude. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
And I don't know, it's about 6,000 miles that way. I haven't heard anybody swimming from here to there, but there is some guys trying to swim around the world. Can you
Yeah.
believe that?
Well, good luck to him.
Good luck to him.
Yeah.
So you came here because it is much less expensive. We all
Yes.
know that. Real estate, all the way to getting a taco to real estate, but they don't have as good pulled pork here. I'll
No,
tell
but
you
they're
what.
getting better. There's
Yeah,
a
they're
few
getting
poke
better.
bowl places.
So you
that I
came
like.
here and you decided to goof off for a little while, enjoy the beautiful weather, explore some of the cool places we have here to hang out.
Yes.
And then that gave you some ideas about, hey, now that I know these things, maybe I can help others.
Yeah,
Right?
my blog actually originated before I came to Mexico. And coming here was actually kind of by accident. I took a 10-day trip here, and after about 3 days here, I knew I'd be living here. And then within 6 months, I packed everything I had into a carry-on bag and
So you
flew
loaded
over.
up the truck and moved to.
Yeah, loaded up the carry-on bag, and that was it. Took the dog, came to PV.
I met a guy last week. He came here from Argentina. He's been here 1 month, and all he has is a backpack. He has nothing else.
Yeah, that's all you need.
He says, I'm moving this weekend to another apartment. I said, you need any help moving furniture? He goes, all I have is a backpack. Can you believe that?
I can. Minimalistic lifestyle.
I
That's
came
the way
down
to
with
do
a
it.
50-foot semi-trailer truck.
What was in that?
What do you need? I've got it.
Well, maybe I can borrow some things.
You can borrow whatever you want. Your Destination's Vacation Club.
Yes,
Not
sort of.
vacation club,
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah.
You help people understand how to cut corners in business and
How to do things the easy way.
Now that's
Yeah,
what I
the
meant.
easy way. It doesn't need to be as difficult as people think.
Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about first? We'll talk about those two topics, but what do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's talk about my first week here in PV.
Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to take a break. Hector's telling me to take a break. He's banging on the window saying, quit talking for a little bit and take a break. We're going to do that, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Good Morning Wake Up Show. We're going to continue our conversation with Desiree K. And we're going to talk about her first week. She came from, did you come directly from Hawaii to here?
No,
Or
I
you
did
go
a
to
pit stop
California?
in Washington first because that's where
Washington,
my family
D.C.
is.
or the state of?
Washington State, yeah.
The state of?
Yeah, that's where my
You
family
heard Paul
lives.
Allen died yesterday, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You know who he is?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
65 years old.
Oh, that's
One of the
young.
richest men in the world. If you don't know who Paul Allen is, he started with Bill Gates, a company called Microsoft, long time ago.
Oh, that little company?
That
Yeah.
little company.
Yeah.
I was in New Orleans about 10 years ago. As everybody knows on the Good Morning Wake Up Show, we never go from point A to point B. We go to point A to Z and then over to D and then back to K and then over to something else. I was in New Orleans, down at the cruise ship terminal, because I was getting ready to get on a cruise ship, and there was another ship right behind this one that was almost as big as a Carnival cruise ship. It was called the Octopus. And I said, man, that's a big boat. And he said, well, that's a private yacht. It belongs to Paul Allen, the owner of Microsoft. And it was actually almost as big as the Carnival cruise ship.
Wow.
That's money. Okay, your first week, when was that? A year ago?
That was a year ago. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And when I came to PV, first thing on my list was obviously to find a place to live. I found a really, really great rental company actually that helped me find a couple condos to invest in, and then decided to live in one of them myself, and then started renting some of the other ones out.
Smart
And,
lady.
Yeah, that was a good way to make some nice side cash while I started building my network and building my business with the blog.
Okay.
And since then, now I've actually been partnering with several companies here in Puerto Vallarta.
Well, let's mention them so we can know who to, you're kind of in
One
touch
of my
with.
favorites that I just partnered with was Viajes Libertad PV.
Do what?
Viajes Libertad PV.
Okay.
It's a company that is focused on providing tourism activities for people that come to Puerto Vallarta at a cheaper rate with the less exploited tourism companies. So they're promoting the underdog. And one of their biggest focuses is doing things like beach cleanups, volunteering with the community, helping that underdog brand get their name established, get their names out there. And so my partnership with them has actually been going on these tours and experiencing these things and then writing articles about it and making video content about it and then putting that out live for people to see.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of old people like me that don't know what a blog is. And I'd never heard of a blog. When I went to the university, there was no computers. Don't laugh. I'm dead serious. 1973, there was no computers. We had one huge giant mainframe as big as this studio, but you had to have these index cards. That's another story. So I don't know a lot about them. Now, about 4 years ago, there's some kid here from England. He was a journalist and he's learning. And he had a blog, the Banderas blog or something. And he wanted to write an article about me. I don't know why, but he did. And I guess a blog is like a news story that you put on the internet instead of in a newspaper or magazine, correct?
Yeah, it's basically a digital newspaper, basically.
Okay.
But the thing about a blog is it's actually individual specific, so it's based on each person and their niche.
So anybody can have a blog.
Anybody can have a blog. Yeah.
Is that like a Twitter account?
Kind of like tweeting.
See, I don't have tweeting.
See, sort of. But
I don't. Desiree doesn't know this, but I don't even have a cell phone.
No. Oh.
Yeah, I'm probably the only person over 10 years old that doesn't have a cell phone. I haven't had one for 5 years.
No, you're not missing anything.
No, you're exactly right.
That's okay.
I'll never hurt anybody text message and driving, I promise you that. So you started a blog, and what's the blog called?
The blog is My Deztination.
My Deztination. That's
Yes.
how you do. I don't know how you do it, but I guess you go to Google and
Yes.
type in My Destination blog.
Yeah, with My Destination with a Z.
Believe it or
Yes.
not, there's people out there like me that don't know how to do this.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
easy stuff.
I'm trying to educate them. So we can go to My Destination blog and read everything that you've written. Now, do you do this daily? Do you do it weekly? Do you do it bi-monthly?
I do it when I find good, relevant content to write about.
Okay.
My blog is specifically a solo travel and ecotourism blog.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things that I like to write about is traveling alone, and especially in a country like Mexico that has a lot of negative U.S. propaganda and reputation. I like to discuss how I go around Puerto Vallarta, how it's completely safer than I had ever realized when I first visited
Well, you know
area.
who puts out all that negative press.
I'm sure I could guess.
It's the
Yeah.
United States tourism industry.
Yes.
They want you going to Las Vegas, and they want you going to Orlando, and they want you going to Universal Studios in L.A.
You know, AARP actually just ranked Puerto Vallarta the safest city and the most visited city for retired seniors in 2018.
It's a beautiful place. I've
a
been down here
beautiful
for
place.
4+ years, never had a single problem.
No, me neither.
I did get a parking ticket one time at Plaza Caracol. It cost me $6.
Oh.
It'd been $100 in Houston. Well, that's great that you do that. So I can go onto your blog and I can read what you wrote about yesterday or the day before, or maybe last week or the week before that, and you cover all different types of topics.
Many different types of topics. Lately, it's been a lot of activities and things to do in Puerto Vallarta. We're coming to high season, so there's going to be a lot of travelers here wanting to
I got to
know.
stop you there, Des. We can't call it high season anymore.
Oh.
It's got to be busy season or more people season, because the
Winter
high
season.
people take the high as kind of like the, Canadian low and Mexican high, kind of like the hippy-dippy weatherman used to do. And sometimes high has a negative connotation. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but
It's,
okay, the busy season.
Yeah, the busy season.
The busy season.
I was taught that by, I'm not going to tell you, but he's head of the government here in Puerto Vallarta. They want to prefer it to something different than the high season.
Okay, well,
They asked me if I'd talk about that.
we're coming into the busy season.
The busy season, snowbird season.
The snowbird season, yes. And a lot of people are looking for what type of activities to do in Puerto Vallarta. So I definitely will help out a lot with that with my articles.
Okay.
And then another thing that I like to focus on is how to teach people to make the transition into living abroad. So I have a full section on my website where I'm actually discussing how to rent condos, how to understand your electricity bill. The CFE is kind of confusing to
I understand
us
that.
expats at first. And just little things like that. How to get your pets here. I have a full article on how to fly with your animals, the preparation steps that you need to take before you get here, what to expect when you do get here. So there's a lot of things that people get overwhelmed by when they think of actually making the transition over to the busy season here in Puerto Vallarta, whether it's just a 1-month vacation or a 6-month vacation, or they're actually planning on becoming a resident. It can be really overwhelming. So a lot of the things that I cover are about my transition and my experiences that I came and that I dealt with when I came over here.
There's a lot of things to do down here, and I'm going to put you on spot here. What's the most underrated thing you've done here? Like, well, this is going to be the best thing you ever did, and then it would just blah. And what's the best thing you've done here? Say a single event, if you can think of one.
Boy, just one.
Well, I mean, there's got to be a highlight. My highlight, I think the very best thing I've done here was a couple years ago. I took that, and I help advertise everybody. The Art Adventures has this thing called Rhythms of the Night, where they've changed it. Well, I did it on New Year's Eve, and it was amazing. I'd seen Cirque du Soleil's in Las Vegas and other parts of the world a lot, but over there it was very, very great entertaining. It was the food. They have a buffet. It was really, really unbelievably good food. I've eaten a lot of food around the world, especially buffets and things like that, which is terrible. But I was shocked how good the food was. And then, because it was New Year's, we came halfway back over, stopped in the middle of the bay at about 11 o'clock and watched fireworks for 2 hours. Now, I think that Rhythms of the Night thing's a cool thing to do. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit expensive, but it was a lot of fun. It was really neat. But on New Year's Eve, it was so much more spectacular because of all the fireworks. You could see them from Conchichina all the way up to Sayulita.
Oh, I bet.
I'll say Punta de Mita. Sayulita's around the bend. You couldn't see them. They go up over the mountain. But it was unbelievable because of the fireworks. So that's my highlight living down here.
Okay.
And
I would say maybe one of the most underrated experiences that I have enjoyed here is hiking all the waterfalls around Puerto Vallarta. A lot of people, when they think of any beach city or a beach destination, they think ocean, right? They just want to go straight to the beach. And of course, our beaches here in Banderas Bay are fantastic. But what people don't realize is, especially in the rainier time of year, there are
last night.
Yeah, there are beautiful waterfalls riddled all over from the north end to the south end of Banderas Bay. And hiking around in the jungles of Mexico, and mind you, it's completely safe. I do it with all of my single female travelers. We don't have big, heavy machinery with us. There's nobody out there that's harassing us. We're well taken care of. And hiking around in the jungles is just an experience that most people don't really think of when they think of coming to a beach town.
That's exactly right. I have a good friend who lives right across the street from Garza Blanca. Matter of fact, he owns a home that used to be owned by Elizabeth Taylor. And Garza Blanca's a hotel. It's about, I'd say, 8 miles past Romantic Zone, going towards Manzanillo, or actually going towards, just the south.
Side, yeah.
Past Conchichina, but before you get to Los Arcos, down there where the cliffs are. But right before the Garza Blanca Hotel and the Hotel Musai, there's a little river.
Pala Maria.
Whatever, you turn left right there, you can walk up and down those very, very huge giant boulders. A little river runs through there. And in Oklahoma, we call them creeks, but it's like a river. And if you go far enough, I don't know how many kilometers you have to go, maybe 5, 6, 7. There's beautiful waterfalls up there.
Don't quote me on this, but I think there's 7 waterfalls up there.
7 up there?
7. And I've actually only done 2 because you have to climb over a giant rock mountain to get there. And let me tell you, that was so scary and exhilarating and awesome.
It is. It really is.
Machista.
You have to be physically fit to do this. I mean, you can't. It's not for. Unfortunately, it's not for handicapped people.
Not for beginners.
Not for beginners. You have to, and be very, very careful. Take some very good shoes that you don't mind getting wet, because they're going to get wet. Mm-hmm. You do walk through the water a lot.
Yes.
But you have to have something that's better than these slip-on things you buy at Walmart that you wear in the beach.
Well, unless you're a local.
They'll slip off.
The locals go up there with no shoes on.
They
climb up
salty
there.
feet.
Yeah, they're strong.
They're protected with rock salt.
But you can get to the first waterfall as a beginner, no problem.
That's true.
Yes.
And that's the only one I know of. I know there's many more.
Yeah, El Nogolito is fantastic.
Okay.
Chico's Paradise has little hidden waterfalls that you wouldn't really know are there, and there's actually 2 really nice restaurants that surround that area. El Eden has one. The waterfall in Yalapa is fantastic, and the day tour that you can do out there includes boat rides and lunch on the beach.
She's telling me things that I've been here 4 times longer than her, and I've never heard about. And I'm sure she's telling people that are listening to the show that have been here 20, 25 years that don't know about, because they, are busy with their life and working. But Desiree, because this is what she kind of does, she can help us. And the information she can provide for us, how to have fun, you have some vacation rentals type stuff too that you help people.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. We got to take a break. Hector's banging on the window again. So we need to take a break. So we're going to do that, and we'll be right back with Desiree K. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Morning Wake Up Show. We're going to continue our conversation with Desiree K. That's K-A-Y.
Yes.
That's about right. And her friend Christina. Are you going to say anything, Christina? No, she's over there shy.
She's my photographer.
She's a moral support photographer. Well, she took a picture of us. Desiree probably helped the picture, and I probably ruined it. Probably broke the camera. That's why I'm on the radio, because I'm so ugly. You know what? I went to the psychiatrist the other day and he told me I was crazy.
Why?
And I told him I wanted a second opinion. He said, okay, you're ugly. Always a good time here on the Good Morning Wake Up Show. Okay, you all have talked to us about your blog, about all the cool stuff that you can teach us. Also, being an entrepreneur, you've learned how to kind of cut some corners or make things a little bit easier on starting a business.
Yes.
There are rules and regulations and this, that, and the other.
Definitely.
You have to talk to probably a notary if you're going to make income down here.
Yes.
That's things that maybe you could help people with.
Yeah, definitely.
For a consulting
talk to a
fee
tax
or something like
professional.
that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was talking over you. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I would say definitely talk to a tax professional. Make sure you're doing things legally. Also paying taxes in your country of origin as well. One thing I learned is that just because I live in Mexico doesn't mean I can avoid U.S. taxes. I still have to pay taxes in both countries.
Desiree doesn't realize this, but next week on the show, we're going to have a tax specialist.
Oh, I'll tune in.
So anyway, we're going to be having, it might be 2 weeks. First week in November, we're going to have one. Next week, I'm actually going to be in Los Angeles at the University of Guadalajara International Film Festival in L.A. I'll be hanging out up there with some of the movie stars and this, that, and the other.
Cool.
So I'm going to have a lot of fun. So let's talk about your need to, or your willingness to help people rent a condo or an apartment or a house or what do you call that part of your business?
Well, basically, I kind of just do that as a side gig because I've learned so much about how to do it here in Mexico. Doing business as a woman here in Mexico as well, which was a little different than my experiences in the United States. But it can be a little intimidating coming to another country, renting a place for yourself. And how to do it and what the laws are and things like that. So I've written a lot of articles about it on my website as well. And then I kind of just want to remanage the expectations of the people when they come here and what to expect and finding trustworthy companies to do that, companies that will have your back in the event that something does go wrong or incorrect. And then, of course, investing your money into something that you can either get a return on investment in if you're looking to rent it out or something that you feel that you're going to be happy in for the time that you're going to be here.
For being 20-something, this young lady is very, very smart.
20-something, I love him.
I'll tell you what. She's very helpful, and she's giving out a lot of great information. We've covered a lot of topics. I want to talk a little bit about going back to your Elephant Nature Park deal. We're going to come back to the more important stuff here in a minute.
Elephants are always important.
But how long did you do that?
Well, I worked at the Elephant Nature Park for 2 weeks in Thailand. And it would have been much longer had I had more funding, but only 2 weeks of my life. But I will tell you, it was probably the most spectacular experience I've ever had. By far the most spectacular. Just being able to use my veterinary medical experience, volunteer that with the elephants. A lot of them were actually rescued from the mountains where they were either used for logging or they had gotten one of their little elephant feet blown off by some of the landmines that are on the border of Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam.
Yeah, there was a war there.
There was,
50 years ago.
That war, and unfortunately the elephants are still suffering the consequences of that.
And some people every now and then.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Paul McCartney's ex-wife was really, really into landmines, trying to get rid of all of them forever.
And there's still many up in the mountains.
Thousands of them.
So a lot of the elephants, unfortunately, one of the things is because they are such heavy animals, they cannot live well on just 3 legs. So at the Elephant Nature Park, we spent a lot of our time building legs for these animals. And then also repairing the elephants that did have maybe partial foot that was unfortunately blown off. We would have to clean it daily and then take care of it. And the great thing about the Elephant Nature Park is it's a giant park with, I think she's, Lek Chalet is her name. She has over, I think, 85 elephants now.
Wow.
Yeah, and these elephants run free on the property. And it's almost like their natural
free-range
habitat.
elephants.
Yeah. You can actually check out a video of this on my YouTube channel. I took a lot of footage on this as well. You can find the link of that on my website. But it's just a great experience if you're ever wanting to get close with the elephants without riding them, because unfortunately the tourism riding is kind of a bad thing for the elephants. But you can volunteer with them even if you don't have veterinary medical experience. You can help in other ways, building structures for the elephants, making giant elephant salads, which is a lot of fun, helping with the gardening, cleaning up elephant poop. A lot of the products that they actually make at the Elephant Nature Park are made out of elephant feces, which you'd think is really a weird thing, but actually it's so cool. I have this this journal that I got that was actually made of elephant poop. But
in Oklahoma we actually have recreational sports. It's called a cow patty toss. And if you're not familiar with what cows, but when they do their business, it kind of dries out in the hot sun and turns into like a frisbee. And we actually have a sporting event to where after they're dried, we see who can throw a cow patty, as we call them, the farthest. I mean, it's almost like a national sport up there in Oklahoma, and West Texas too. But it's cow patty throwing, big event on 4th of July.
It sounds like a big event.
Hey, I got to tell you a story. This is before your time too, but there was a president of the United States named Richard M. Nixon, and he came to Puerto Vallarta one time to meet with the president of Mexico and some other people. And while he was here, coming from the airport here in Puerto Vallarta onto the downtown area, he saw some people with donkeys. And he made the comment, he said, I don't know why you all brought donkeys here. I'm a Republican and our symbol's an elephant. Why didn't you all bring elephants? And he actually thought the donkeys, or the burros, were actually brought here for him when he didn't know that people just work with them and use them to, carry stuff, this, that, and the other. But he was president of the United States. So I don't know how intelligent he was. He wasn't a very good crook. Well, he was a crook, but he didn't know how to get caught. Okay, we're going to talk back. That's just a side story that, I'm a little bit crazy. That doctor was right. I'm ugly, too. Let's talk about something else. The mic's open to you. What haven't I asked you, or what would you like the listening audience to know about you and or your businesses?
Well, I would, I think a lot of the expats, when they come to Puerto Vallarta, I think they learn really quickly that the idea that we are taught in the U.S. and maybe even Canada is that, Mexico is not a safe place to go. It's not a good place to invest long term. It's not even a good place to retire. And it's really a sad, negative impression that we come with. But I think that we learn quickly when we come here that not only is the culture so embracing when you get here, and the people are so welcoming and so helpful. When I first came here, I had so many people step out of their way to actually help me to translate, which was a huge thing for me because I'm still learning my Spanish. They would help me with directions. They would help me moving things, furniture, heavy lifting. Just really, really good people, a good culture that, as good as the people in the United States are sometimes, I don't feel like the community is quite as integrated as it is here.
I agree with you.
And the expat community is so diverse here in Puerto Vallarta. It's just really a cool thing to be a part of. So to be my age, 32, not 20-something, I love you for saying that, but coming to Puerto Vallarta alone and kind of doing it almost fearlessly, like, oh, I'm just accomplishing this big, huge, scary thing in my life, and then finding out, wait a minute, it's actually a very safe place to live. It was really a fantastic experience.
Well, I admire you for being a beautiful young lady. Do you mind me saying you're beautiful?
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll take it.
Me Too movement and all that stuff. I got to be careful. Matter of fact, we're sitting 20. She's actually in another room on the other side of the campus. You got to be. I'll guarantee you, I could never be a Supreme Court judge because they'd have, instead of one woman up there, they'd have like 40 or 50 of them. I was, I had 5 brothers. I had no sisters. I saw the first girl when I was about 12. I actually proposed to a girl to marry me when I was 6 years old.
Aww.
In first grade, I gave her my mother's engagement ring.
Oh, wow. I bet your mother was happy about that.
Well, I got grounded for life.
I bet.
I bet I got 20 spankings. She sent me to the priest for confession. That's another story. I have to tell you that story one day. It's because 40 years later, I was at a wedding, and the girl's mother came up and said, Mr. Nolan, so we still laugh every Christmas when there were 8 girls in this family. Said every year we get together for Christmas, and we all tell stories about our life, and your story's still number one. You proposed to my daughter Mary when you were 6 years old with a 2-carat diamond ring.
And is that who you're married to now?
No, Mary didn't marry me.
Oh,
no.
She
Her
said
sister
no.
Jane did. No. But anyway, I really admire you because you're young. You're not scared to go out and challenge the world. And I want you to encourage, the population of the world, there's more women than men.
Yeah, I can believe that.
And I have 2 daughters. I have 2 granddaughters and 1 grandchild. I got to remember Landon, my grandson. I love when women like you come on the show and encourage the young girls. Give them the knowledge that they can do anything. In many parts of this world, unfortunately, women are still considered second-class citizens. And, you know, my mother being a full Army colonel, that was never true in our house. Although there weren't any girls, there was just all of us guys. She ran our house like an Army complex. But she always taught us to respect women, appreciate what they can do, and that they could do anything that a man can do, probably, you know, twice as good and faster and more efficient. So I really do admire you. And I want you to just encourage the young ladies out there. We have a lot of them here at campus. There's a lot of them listening in. From a woman, your perspective, what you've done, would you mind just saying a couple things about encouragement to these young girls? Because I want them to know that they can do it.
Definitely.
And that you're a great example.
Thank you. You know, I would say first and foremost, don't be afraid. One of the topics that I've actually covered on my website is 10 tips for solo female travelers. And I think it's really important to, first and foremost, walk around kind of like you own the place. Like my mother always taught me, she said, chin up, chest out, shoulders back. Like this is how you should carry yourself around, because that confidence shows that there's nothing to be afraid of. You're not, you know, weak, you're confident, you're secure in yourself. And then secondly, I would say don't be intimidated by the language. Not knowing the language of the place that you go to should never be a reason for not traveling there. Mostly because body language is 90% of how you communicate anyways. So when I went to Thailand, for example, or Cambodia or Vietnam, I did not speak any of those languages when I was there. But just being able to use hand gestures and things like that, that got me everything that I needed to do, and it was never a setback for me. And then another tip that I would use would be, you know, if you're actually walking, if you're that crazy girl like myself who walks in the dark street by herself and her girlfriends are always giving her, you know, some crud about it, don't be afraid to acknowledge those people that you're passing by. Because one thing about predators that I've learned is that they always go after the weak gal, or the gal who's looking down at her cell phone, or the gal who is, you know, focused kind of in her little area and not acknowledging her surroundings. One of the things that I do when I'm walking around on the streets is I'm constantly making eye contact with people and just hola, and just continue on. And I feel like when you perceive that energy out into the world, people aren't necessarily trying to commit petty crimes with you. They're more or less like, oh, hola. They're kind of caught off guard.
A smile says a million things.
A million things, yeah. So don't be afraid. Be fearless.
Well, that leg iron you're wearing, that Colt 45 Peacemaker on your side there, that most powerful handgun in the world, that's one Clint Eastwood used. Yeah. That probably doesn't hurt any either. No, she doesn't really have a gun.
No, I don't.
But she has a beautiful smile and a great personality, and I am really honored to have you here on the Good Morning Wake Up Show this morning. We can only touch the tip of the iceberg with most of my guests, but I do want you one more time to give out your contact information so people can go to you, watch your blog, call you, arrange things with you so you can help them make their lives a little easier and help your life be a little bit more successful.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you mind one more time giving out that information?
Sure, no problem. So on any of my social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can reach me at My Deztination with a Z, or you can go to my website, www.mydestination.com with a Z. And if you want to contact me directly for any partnerships or collaborations, you can reach me on my email, des@mydestination.com.
Once again, Deztination.com, Desiree K. and Christina. Is it Christina or Christine? Christine. We're going to have Christine come back. She talked so much this morning, me and Des barely were able to get a word in. We're going to talk about Motown and maybe some music. Okay. Well, once again, thank you very much for taking the time to come here. Please contact her. She'll be able to help you in a lot of different ways. If you're a one-weeker down here, she can probably tell you, hey, go do this, go do that. Forget the other one. Don't do that. It's too... She can also help you if you've been down here for 25 years, maybe find some of those hidden waterfalls.
Yeah, maybe so.
So, once again, thank you very much. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back more with the Good Morning Wake Up Show.